Hey everyone! Of all the plays that I teach, An Ideal Husband might be the most polarizing. Some students really love it, while other students really don't like it. And both reactions come down to different interpretations of what happens in the final act of the play. I want to discuss potential interpretations of that act in our Zoom class later this week. But today I want to focus on two other things in our lecture. Oscar Wilde's own relationship with the play, and the fact that An Ideal Husband is Wilde's most significantly political play. To start with Wilde's own relationship to the play, Wilde once said that An Ideal Husband contains much of the real Wilde. Critics have spent over 100 years debating exactly what that means, but however we want to interpret it, I think we need to understand that Wilde felt a special kind of connection to this play. Is it because he relates so strongly to the character of Lord Chiltern, the husband with a secret? Is it because he feels it best captures his judgments of Victorian Puritanism and his values of love and forgiveness? Is it because both of these aspects of the play allow him to work through personal feelings of guilt and longing and conflictedness? Or is what some take as a confession really just another of Wilde's trite aphorisms? These are the kinds of conversations critics have been having about An Ideal Husband over the last several decades. Whatever you think, I do believe that we should recognize An Ideal Husband for the strength of its narrative structure and its skillful balance between comedy, satire, and drama. The two earlier of Wilde's plays that we've read, Salome and Lady Windermere's Fan, focus primarily on one conflict to drive the narrative tension. In Salome's case, the drama, and in Lady Windermere's case, the comedy. Ernest weaves together a few different conflicts, primarily Jack and Algernon's, but also develops these conflicts through its female characters and introduces multiple layers of conflict to achieve its comedy. An Ideal Husband similarly combines a few different conflicts. While the ultimate conflict is the blackmail of Lord Chiltern by Mrs. Cheveley, a secondary conflict is Lady Chiltern's own struggle between her disappointing husband and the friend she wishes to go to for comfort. And then a tertiary conflict is Lord Goring's difficult position, being caught between Mabel Chiltern, whom he wants to marry, and Mrs. Cheveley, to whom he was once engaged. These conflicts do provide moments of mirth, and the play ends in an engagement and the salvation of a marriage, two things that meet the Aristotelian requirements for comedy. The play, though, is often a very serious play. It does not merely satirize British society through jokes and absurd situations, but criticizes it with realistic and emotional drama. The heart of the conflict in a play like Lady Windermere's Fan is partially blackmail, yes, but most of the drama comes from layers of misunderstanding. The audience is meant to care perhaps a little less about Mrs. Erlyn as a blackmailer and more about her as a mother. In An Ideal Husband, though, both the audience and the other characters in the play all take the crime of selling government secrets very seriously. In my opinion, the way in which An Ideal Husband manages to balance comedy and drama and allows that drama to be so complicated makes it one of Wilde's most mature plays. It should also be noted that An Ideal Husband is Wilde's most political play. One of the questions I want to ask during our Zoom class is to what extent politics matter to the play. Wilde's characters often take a casual, even flippant attitude towards politics. But it's worth remembering that his own mother, Wilde's own mother, was very politically active in the effort towards Irish Home Rule. Within An Ideal Husband, we see two characters actively involved in the political life of England, Lord Chiltern and Lord Caversham, who's Lord Goring's father, who are both actively involved in the House of Lords. And it's worth noting, too, that England's legislative government is broken into two different houses. In case you didn't know, this is the House of Lords, the House of Commons. Representatives are voted into the House of Commons, whereas the House of Lords consists of appointees and hereditary members. Lord Chiltern, we learn, uses the money he earns from selling a government secret to work his way into the British upper class and a seat in the House of Lords. So the first political scandal is the selling of political secrets. The second is the Argentinian canal scheme, which Mrs. Cheveley wants Lord Chiltern to support, despite the fact that he realizes that it has no long-term benefits for the British government and will only benefit those who have private money invested in the scheme. There is a nice parallel between the two scandals. This first scandal is about a real-life successful canal, the Suez Canal, that historically strengthened the power of the British Empire by giving them faster modes of travel between Europe, India, and Eastern Africa, and profiting the country and private investors with a fortune. The second scandal is also canal, which is trying to build off of the hype of that initial canal, convincing the British government to invest in the hopes of similar success, well knowing it will fail. Well, there's not hard evidence that Wilde was influenced by any one particular piece of political context. We can definitely say that he was influenced by the Suez Canal and other empire-driven political developmental decisions. It's also worth noting that 3 years before the play was first produced, a member of the House of Commons, Jabez Balfour, fled to Argentina after being found out in a series of fraudulent businesses that made him rich at the expense of his investors. What might be most important to consider, though, are the parallels that Wilde sees between British politics and broader British society. So that's this week's lecture. It's a bit shorter again, but that's because I want to save a lot for our Zoom discussion later this week, and I'm really looking forward to talking with you then. Have a good week. Bye.